She called the cops on me for moving out. No, really. I was packing my bags, trying to leave the neighborhood. And next thing I knew, 5 police cruisers pulled up, lights flashing like I'd just robbed a bank. And in the middle of that chaos, she didn't know my son was in one of those cars. A cop. A real one. And he wasn't there to arrest me. It all started about 6 weeks back. I'd just gotten a life-changing offer from St. Jude's Hospital. 5-year contract to supply them with organic vegetables. That's not just business to me. That's legacy. My wife, Amanda, passed from cancer 3 years ago, but before she went, she made me promise I'd keep growing healthy food for folks. She was a nurse, believed food could heal. That garden in my front yard, that basil bush, she planted that 2 weeks before she died. Still grows strong. So yeah, when I hammered that for sale sign into the lawn, it felt like honoring her dream. But the moment that sign hit the dirt, out walked Cheryl Manning, HOA president, queen of Maplewood Glen, wearing her workout outfit she never worked out in, hair sprayed to the gods. "Brian," she said, all sweet poison, "you're not leaving, are you?" I told her about the contract, tried to be respectful, but her eyes, cold, calculating. "Have you reviewed Section 12 of our bylaws?" she said, like I hadn't lived here for a decade. Truth is, Cheryl's hated me ever since I beat her in a small claims suit. She tried to ban vegetable gardens, said they ruined the aesthetic integrity of the neighborhood. I proved they raised property value. She never forgave me for that. Within hours, she had a violation notice slapped on my door. Said my produce truck had been parked too long in my own driveway. $500 fine. She made sure to hand-deliver it, told me, "This is just the beginning." And she wasn't kidding. A day later, the buyer interested in my place ghosted. Turns out Cheryl sent out a neighborhood-wide email calling me a deadbeat, accused me of owing thousands in fees. Even photoshopped fake violations. I'd had 2 actual citations in 10 years, both from leaving the truck out during harvest. At first I felt helpless. Then I remembered what Amanda said. Don't fight with fists. Fight with patience. So I started collecting everything. Emails, letters, phone calls. Built a file thick enough to make a lawyer sweat. But Cheryl wasn't working alone. Her boyfriend, Rick Nolan, started hanging around. Creepy guy. Used to be military, now jobless and bitter, always parked outside my house in a beat-up white van, said he was neighborhood security. But really, he was her attack dog. Then came Maria. Maria Sanchez owns the bakery on Oak Street. She's quiet, mid-40s, always smelled like flour and cinnamon. She served on the HOA board, but never said much, until one morning she showed up at my back door, notebook clutched tight, eyes darting like she was being followed. "Brian, she's done this before," Maria whispered. 3 times, scared families out. Her brother buys their homes cheap, all under fake names. She showed me pages of notes, dates, photos, fake finds. She even had a voice memo where Cheryl threatened to burn her bakery down if she didn't vote her way. So we made a plan. I'd keep playing the nice guy, let Cheryl think she was winning. Meanwhile, Maria would gather more evidence. Cheryl walked right into it. She called a tow company to take my produce truck, claimed it was abandoned. But the driver? one of my regulars. Your kale saved my wife's blood pressure, he said, laughing. I ain't towing your truck for this lunatic. Cheryl lost it, screamed about lawsuits, threatened to call the mayor. That night, she pushed a new rule. No homeowner could move out within 90 days of listing. Illegal as hell. But she strong-armed the board into passing it. On a live stream Maria set up without telling anyone. That footage? Cheryl yelling at retirees, slamming her fist on the table and shouting, "Nobody leaves Maplewood unless I say so." It went viral in less than an hour. The next morning, I found my vegetable garden trashed. Traitor spray-painted across the soil. Tomato vines ripped out. But the worst part, a single red rose and a note. This is what happens to people who betray the community. That broke something in me. Maria called again. "Brian, you need to see this," she said. At her bakery, we spread out documents across flour-dusted counters. Bank transfers. Contractor scams. Proof Cheryl had stolen over $150,000 from HOA dues. And the kicker? Her brother wasn't just buying properties. He was the face for dear Judge Everett Collins, a county judge under federal investigation. Cheryl's scam was part of a bigger conspiracy, flipping homes through intimidation, then laundering the profits. Maria had it all. But we needed one more thing. A breaking point. Cheryl tried to give it. She called the health department, claimed I was growing contaminated food. The inspector showed up, looked around, then grinned. "You're the tomato guy, right? My wife loves your stuff." He left with 10 pounds of produce and told me Cheryl had filed 3 complaints that week alone. All fake. Then Cheryl cut my utilities. Middle of summer, 95 degrees. No power, no water, no irrigation. My crops died in hours. Plants Amanda and I had nurtured from seed. My deal with St. Jude's? Hanging by a thread. I broke down. I stood in that garden and cried. Years of grief, rage, frustration all pouring out. That was when Cheryl marched over with Rick and 3 neighbors she'd bribed. "You've got 24 hours to restore utilities," she said smugly, "or we'll evict you for endangering the neighborhood." I snapped. "My wife died planting this basil," I shouted. "She could barely stand, but she wanted something alive to stay behind. And you," I pointed straight at her, "you're killing her memory because I embarrassed you in a garden vote." The whole street went quiet. Cheryl just sneered. "You need therapy." What she didn't know was Maria was filming the whole thing. From her car. The video blew up. People from all over sent messages, support, even food. Local businesses took my side. But Cheryl wasn't done. She called the cops, told them there was an armed intruder at my house. They showed up, 5 cruisers, guns drawn. And that's when my son, Ethan Harper, stepped out of the 5th car, off duty, but badge and sidearm clearly visible. Calm, controlled, raised his hands. "I'm Officer Ethan Harper, badge 284-7, Riverside PD, visiting my father." Cheryl came running out, screaming, "He's a fraud! He threatened me!" Then Rick chimed in like a parrot. "Yeah, he's dangerous." One of the younger officers squinted. "Wait, aren't you the guy who got the Community Policing Award last month?" Then Sergeant Ramirez pulled up, Maria's husband. "Stand down," he said. "That's Officer Harper. I know him personally." Cheryl's face went pale. "You're all in on it," she shrieked. "This is a setup." Then she did something truly stupid. She slapped Ethan, right in front of 5 officers. Silence. And then the click of handcuffs. "You're under arrest for assaulting an officer, filing a false police report, and harassment," Ramirez said calmly. Rick tried to run, tripped over one of Cheryl's fancy flower planters, and knocked himself out cold. As they loaded her into the cruiser, Cheryl screamed, "I am the HOA!" But her empire had crumbled. Later, Ramirez showed us hidden cameras in those planters, illegal surveillance, evidence of wiretapping. The feds swooped in. Cheryl's arrest was the last piece they needed to indict Judge Collins and the whole ring. But that moment, watching Cheryl fall into Amanda's basil patch, screaming like a banshee, I felt no rage, no sadness, just peace. What would you do if you were me?